Welcome to Act 2 this week on Extra Time. Greg Lawless, Shep Messing, and Jason, the producer here. We are at Red Bull Arena. It's nearly completed, and we are here for the laying of the final piece of sod on the field down there. There's a big press conference with some big wigs from the New York soccer scene, of course. And a little bit earlier, Shep and I had the chance to talk to some of those big wigs. Tab Ramos in particular, former U.S. international and MetroStar star, and Richie Williams, the head coach for the New York Red Bulls right now. All right, well, thank you very much for joining us, Tab. I mean, you look around this stadium, and as a New Jersey kid, what are the feelings that come into your mind?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. This, I believe, is one of the biggest days in the history of just New Jersey soccer in general. I've obviously, having grown up blocks from here, always believed that Giants Stadium was sort of the mecca of soccer for the whole country. That's where we watched Pele play. That's where we watched some of our Shep and some other people here. Yeah, God, I didn't know what to call you, but colleague is good. Okay. So, I mean, this is obviously an incredible moment now that we have a soccer-specific stadium in this state, in this area that has been so devoted to soccer since the 20s. Since the 1920s, I believe that this is really going to be a boom for the state and for soccer in general nationwide.
Tab, it seems like every new arena that gets built in this country is better than the last one. Greg and I were talking, this almost feels like Spain or Germany. I mean, it's got such a European touch to it.
It certainly does. When you come in here, you do feel like you're in another country. And I think this is exactly what the people here needed. I mean, soccer here has been so important to people for generations. You know, the courts, as you know, are blocks away where we all grew up playing. And this is just a perfect place to take the people from this area to the next level in soccer.
Well, be honest now. Doesn't it make you want to come out of retirement and just start running around again?
Oh, absolutely. and I honestly think I still have like 2-3 minutes left.
There you go.
So I think 42nd minute, second half, maybe I can come in if we're up by 2 or 3. I think I may be able to help.
Tab Ramos, former U.S. international and New York MetroStar at some point, huh? We are joined by the interim head coach for the New York Red Bulls, Richie Williams. And Richie, you guys didn't make the playoffs, but here we are, the almost completed Red Bull Arena. Next year, this must be a very, very special moment for you guys.
No, it's an excellent stadium, as you can see here. Beautiful stadium. It's going to be the best soccer-specific stadium in our country, and we're looking forward to getting in here. Obviously, Giant Stadium, our home the last 15 years or so. It's just a little outdated and a little overwhelming for an MLS team. This is going to be an excellent place to play.
I think for you, Rich, in my opinion, you're getting a head coaching job. I think you've done well as an assistant learning the game. Your stint here has shown that you're ready to be a head coach, whether it's with Red Bulls or another team in the league. Give us a little bit of a preview of the playoffs. You see the matchups. Any surprises?
It's so, you know, that our league is, like I said, there's so much parity. Everyone's so close. I mean, obviously Columbus has been the best team throughout the season. I guess LA slightly behind them, but it's not easy. And as you can see, last year we snuck in the playoffs on the last day and we were able to get to the MLS Cup final. So I think it's hard to make any predictions. But for me, I think the LA Galaxy, I think is going to be, you know, do well, and it'll be tough to beat. And I think, you know, I'm looking at them possibly being in the MLS Cup.
Richie, thank you very much for joining us. Richie Williams, head coach for the New York Red Bulls here at Red Bull Arena. Well, guys, we just heard Richie talking about how he thinks Los Angeles is the team to beat.
I agree with what Richie Williams said. I think that is a team that has been totally turned around. They're solid at every position. They're going to be very difficult to beat.
Well, they won the Western Conference, and for that, they get a date in the first round of the playoffs with their cross-town, cross-stadium, cross-hallway rivals, Chivas USA. Let's break down this series a little bit and see who's going to end up being the winner. Jason, what does Chivas USA, who struggled really against Los Angeles this year, what do they need to do to come out of this series?
Yeah, the teams have played 3 tight games this year. LA won 2 of them, 1-0, and they tied 0-0. So we've seen them both kind of be secure with the ball, play smart defensively. I think for Chivas, a key issue for them is getting Jesse Marsch back on the field. So he was out with a concussion last week. Could be back for this week. I think him dictating the pace in the midfield a little bit. He's a very smart player, knows when to go up tempo, when to hold it back, and that's going to be important against an LA team with a great midfield.
I look to see who are the difference makers in a big game, in a playoff game, and I think these are 2 very good teams, but I like the difference makers on the Galaxy more. I think there are more of them. Landon Donovan can turn a game around. David Beckham, I don't think has played well. He could still beat you with a set piece, a corner kick, a free kick. Question on the Chivas side of the ball, but I think more players that can turn a game for the Galaxy.
A couple of great goalkeepers in this series as well. Donovan Ricketts has had a fantastic year for Los Angeles. Zach Thornton, I mean, presumably the comeback player of the year, I would say, in some ways. Who's going to be the dominant keeper? You need a good keeper in the playoffs.
I think Donovan Ricketts has been doing it all season. Obviously, Thornton's had a great season, but the saves that Ricketts is making, he's not making mistakes, which I think is huge for Donovan Ricketts. We said it earlier in the season, you know, Omar Gonzalez playing with a rookie at Central Defense. He's not really a rookie anymore. He's played a full season in MLS. So not only do they have this goalkeeper who is
still a playoff rookie,
job,
though. He's never played in the playoffs. It's a different thing when you're in the playoffs, and everything matters, and it's do or die.
You're right. You're right. So we'll see if he can hold up under the pressure of the playoffs.
I think the edge again goes to the Galaxy because of those two players. Who is going to turn that game around for Chivas? I don't know, except Sasha Klesher. I knew you would.
You know who's going to turn it around. Justin Braun. Trust me, he's going to be a factor in this series, whether he scores some goals or whatever it's going to be. He's got something that I really, really like.
I agree. He's a very creative player going forward. I actually think that Justin Braun's biggest impact in this series could be on the other end. Lately, Zach Thornton's come out for some balls on corner kicks, free kicks, and missed them. He got burned against Houston. You're playing LA, a great free kick taking team with Beckham and Donovan.
And Gonzalez pounding it in the middle.
You have Gonzalez, you have Buttle pounding in, and Chivas just doesn't have a lot of size to mark up. They have Cuesta, but I really think Braun is going to play a big part in marking up at the other end, and those set pieces are going to be huge.
That's a good point. It's another reason I give the edge to the Galaxy. Edson Buttle, I think deceptively good in the air. He can win a ball, flick it, redirect it on goal. Talked about Omar Gonzalez getting forward.
It is the Super Classico, so it doesn't. They're going to be pounding that middle all game long. So the first playoff Super Classico ever takes place, and it starts on Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN2. Chivas USA, technically the home team in that one. The Galaxy, the away team. Well, we also have to get to the guest reporter contest, which continues today. We're in our finalists right now. We've been naming them this week. On Tuesday, we had a guy from West Townsend, Massachusetts, who came in. Today, though, the next finalist, Brian Eshmeli-Doki from Texas, who told us what was going to happen in 2022, Jason.
The U.S. wins the World Cup. Got to give him credit for something, or at least being creative, right?
Very creative right there. Well, join us on Thursday, and we'll have the third and final finalist from the ET Guest Reporter Contest about winning a trip to join us at MLS Cup. That's all we have for you today on Act 2, but join us tomorrow.